Now let's go to number 8 and his top 3 players here. So wow, Nikola Topic at number 8 is his number 1 option. The Spurs often value positional size, feel for the game, and character, and they have long been attracted to international players over the years. The idea of drafting a player with a torn ACL, like Topic, who will likely need to sit out all of next season, wow, I thought it was only going to be like, I mean, I guess it is a torn ACL, so I shouldn't be surprised. But the last time Ethan and I talked about it, he was like, like, how much is the injury going to affect his season? And I was like, it's going to affect it significantly. But I still didn't even realize he was going to be out all of the year. I thought there might be a chance maybe he comes back in like the last 2 months or something. But that surely isn't the most attractive option. But history says it's prudent to think about picking the prospect a team feels will end up being the best player in 5 years, not just 5 months from now. Topic has excellent size for a point guard at 6'7", and perhaps the most advanced feel for the game in this draft, with his ability to navigate ball screens and pick apart opposing defenses. Improving his shooting will be key, but his career 87% free throw percentage portends good things to come. The other thing I'll say about his shooting, as much as it's not a sure thing as maybe some other guys, you can you could find a lot of tape from him, like hitting step backs and hitting open threes, pulling up in transition and draining tough shots. The percentage isn't there right now, but I think the free throw percentage is very telling, like Gavoni mentions here. And I also think that that's going to end up translating decently. Even if he's never like a crazy 3-point shooter, I would be very surprised if he doesn't end up at least being like on average 35% plus. Interesting he has him at number 1. I get what he's saying about, not the best player in 5 months. You want the best player in 5 years. Me and Ethan have already talked about this. Sorry for repeating myself again if you guys have already heard this, but this is the same knee within 5 months. 2 injuries within 5 months, essentially. He was out for 4 months when he injured it originally, and that was only supposed to be 6 to 8 weeks at first, so it was a little bit more severe than they thought. It didn't get as healthy. He wasn't as healthy as fast as they had initially projected. And then a month later, after he comes back in the same knee, tears that ACL. I know it's only a partial tear. When there's so many other options in this draft, it just kind of scares me a little bit. Maybe I'll be proven wrong and he's like the next Embiid. I know Embiid's still dealing with injury issues, but in the sense that he comes in with some injury issues and then is able to actually like play significant minutes and, become a top player in the league. I know now that Embiid's getting towards his 30s. That's not necessarily the case, and he has had injuries throughout, but I think y'all get what I mean. Like maybe it really is just like these 2 injuries in this month and it's bad luck, and he ends up being pretty healthy for the rest of his career. And this doesn't, derail, his athleticism and stuff like that. But because, again, of the injury to the same knee in such a short time span, and the fact that the Spurs have 2 picks here, it's just not. I don't understand. I would rather draft a Devin Carter or a Stephon Castle, who hasn't been listed here. And obviously, I don't know if Castle is going to be available at number 8, but there's some other guys that I would rather draft. There's a chance that Rob Dillingham could be at number 8, and at this point, I'd rather draft Rob Dillingham and Devin Carter than Nikola Topic. And maybe it ends up working out and he ends up, 5 years from now, this really is the case. And he ends up being the next guy. But because of that injury stuff, I don't feel like the Spurs need to take that risk right now. That's what I'll say on Topic. But I don't necessarily disagree with anything that Gavoni said here. I really like his tape. It's just the injuries.